thing we're going to try to do is look at scanning darker colored objects. Typically, sometimes the pictures they don't turn out nice, and they're not fun to play with. But the reason the insole fabric is black, it also gives us a reason to understand a bit more what brightness and sensitivity do. So, if we move our object into the plane, we can see it pretty well. But one of the problems is that it's black on black, and that annoys me. But we can try with the brightness setting set super high, the sensitivity set super high, and see how well it turns out. And it shows up really well. So 180 frames, process that, and it looks to me like we've got a pretty good mesh actually that we can work with, minus of course the background noise, but we can easily eliminate that. What we're going to try next is we still have the same insole, but what if we turn the sensitivity all the way down? Notice it doesn't show up at all, the insole. It's not even tracking it, it's only taking the background. Um, so it kind of spells we could go a little bit higher sensitivity. It looks like it's a little better. Definitely not as clean. Um, but let's just go through it to see if we can get nearly the type of resolution we got on the previous one. And so it looks pretty close to the same. Compare those side by side, you can tell that one of them has a lot more points. Um, I would stick with the black insoles. Um, it seems like the most repetitive form to do this is to have the sensitivity set to a max and the brightness set to a max. If you have a color that is not black and not red, say it's white, notice that it doesn't even recognize it. It's picking up the black background, but not the object itself. It's getting too much light. So in this sense, we can definitely tell that, yeah, please turn down the brightness until the red disappears. All right, turning down the brightness. There we go. No red. Look at that. Now, white on black background. Let's see how well this one goes. So, start with this point here. And looks like it's not picking up anything. I think that has something to do with the sensitivity. So let's turn that up again. Ah, yeah, sensitivity was the issue. Moving that on forward. Wow, look at that. And, well, we should definitely see what this looks like. 112 frames. And that is probably as clean as you can get. Now, I just want to compare something here because sometimes if you have doubts about 3D scanning, this will really blow it out of the water. This was a mold that I scanned, one of the 3D printed molds. And we want to know whether this was truly a nice copy. So let's go back to the one that we scanned of the insole. And we can see this shape in space. We can also see this shape in space. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to align both of these. And sometimes it doesn't align nicely, so we need to do a manual alignment. But if you have any doubts about whether the 3D meshes are close to resembling the meshes themselves, or the insoles themselves, I want you to take a look at this. So these are the points that we're going to use in the software as the highest toe, the highest heel, or the two highest toes and the heel. The one on the left is the 3D scanned insole. The one on the right that I'm playing with now is the 3D printed scanned insole. What I want to do here is align all these points to exactly how they correspond with the insole themselves, and we're just going to compare how the arch relates to the two. So align. Here's our finished product. So we've got, in silver, we've got the real mesh. In black, we've got the 3D model. And you can definitely see some similarities. Let's say okay for now. We're pretty close. It looks like my alignment for the model in black here wasn't perfect, but it was close. It could be better. Like, I think if I moved the point for the heel a little bit over, we would have this cavity filled. But it seems to me like these should be pretty much identical. Alright, so this is our processed mesh. You can see the shape in blue and the shape in green. Those are two separate bodies, but I mean, just look at how close they resemble. I mean, aside from the points aligning, these are very, very similar. So I just find that pretty cool. This really is a copying machine for 3D objects. Anyway.